let's get started, boys and girls. Cool cats and cool.
I want
you,
to.
You
Never
cool
mind.
cats.
I don't want to say that.
You hip cool cats.
Why are you saying
Yeah.
it like that?
I'm talking like a beatnik.
Why like a beatnik?
I'm a beatnik, daddy-o. You ever read Naked Lunch?
No, I have not.
That's a beatnik book. You ever read On the Road by Jack Kerouac? That's another beatnik book. They're books about people in the 1950s doing drugs and stuff.
To save this video? I'll show you later.
Okay.
I'll show you later. Sorry, got a little sidetracked.
I mean, you can screen record your iPhone.
That is true. I can do that, but it's 3 minutes long.
I mean, if there's enough space in your
Not
in
really.
your phone. Oh, yeah.
No, that's why I said there's a way for me to save the video.
I mean, even if you save it like any other way, it's still gonna take up gigabyte space.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so let's continue on.
All right. So
Don't mind the background, guys. If you hear it, don't mind it.
So this is our review of the new Uncharted movie, starring our boy
Tom Holland.
the boy Tom Hanks, Tom Holland, and co-starring Say Hello to Your Mother for Me, Mark Wahlberg.
Yay!
All right, so okay, let's get started.
So a little bit, if you guys don't know, if you guys just find out that the movie Uncharted is like, oh look, a new movie, that's cool, that's interesting, they're at least doing something new. No, it's not new. Uncharted started as a franchise game by the company of Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
So Uncharted was this whole game industry. There's already 4 games out, and there is a 5th one. I forgot the name of it, but there are specifically 4 games of the Uncharted series. Uncharted Drake's Fortune, Uncharted. What was the second one? Give me a minute. I'm looking at my notes.
Uncharted 2, Electric Boogaloo.
No, stop. I'm looking at my notes. Hold up. I'm looking at my notes.
Uncharted 4, Resurrections.
Shut up. That's not true.
Uncharted Reloaded.
Oh, okay. Guys, hold up. I'm just gonna beat this guy a little bit. Oh, never mind. He got himself a weapon. I can't do that shit. All right, so the
my
first
weapon
one
being my dick.
Oh my god. So the Uncharted series is Uncharted Drake's Fortune. The second one's Uncharted Among Thieves. And the third one is Uncharted Drake's Destination. And the fourth one is let me remember.
Is these nuts?
Why do you insult the game?
Oh no, well I'm just trying to create some comedic banter so
and the fourth one is Uncharted the Thief's End. Those are the 4 main games of Uncharted. The 5th one is out as well, but I don't remember the name of it, and I haven't played it, so I don't. Because it doesn't focus on Drake.
So just to let you lovely people know, I've never played any of the Uncharted games. I came into this movie blind as an Uncharted virgin.
Yes, he was.
So my co-host over here, he's the bigger Uncharted fan. So I'm gonna let him point out all the references and all the Easter eggs and stuff in this movie. But let's just first start off with what we thought about the movie. Since you're the bigger fan, I'll let you go first. So what did you think of the movie?
Yes.
Do you think it was a fair representation of the source material, or was it just like a big bastardization?
No, it was good. I really enjoyed the whole movie of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing I did not like is how he began, how they introduced him.
Oh yeah,
robbing
that bullshit.
Robbing a map. That's not how it was. But they got the brother right, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Drake.
Yeah.
They got him right, and his apparent death right as well, which his apparent death was on 4, where we finally find out how Sam and Drake died. But you have to watch the movie because it'll be spoiled if I explain it too much.
Well,
but if you played the game, you already knew what happened. But
so just to let the audience know, just a fair warning for the audience. There are going to be some light spoilers. We're not going to spoil everything in the movie since it is brand new, But in order to talk about certain things, we will do light spoilers.
Yeah, light spoilers. But from me, I will be explaining more of the game.
Yeah.
The more of the game of it.
Yeah.
But in the movie, I will make sure I don't spoil a lot of it.
Yeah, boy.
Because I know everyone's seen in the trailer about the cat. Sullivan does not have an actual cat in the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the game.
So that was just made for the movie.
Yeah, it was just made for the movie.
Bunch
So
of
Sullivan,
bullshit.
yeah, Sullivan in game does not have a cat, but in game he does have a little cat that walks around. I forgot which game. When he was smoking a cigarette, I think a cat just walked by and he just looks at it and that's it. I think that's why they had the cat.
Well, I have certain theories on why they included certain things, but I'll let you continue. Tell us more differences.
So the most difference is how Nathan Drake became
Nathan Drake.
Yeah, Nathan Drake. So in the beginning, we see I don't know if it's already been seen in the trailer. The whole thing of Tom Holland being in the plane.
Yeah.
And then all the carriages from the trailers.
That was a cool scene. That's
Yeah,
probably
it was a cool scene.
That was probably one of my favorite of scenes in the movie, but I'll let you continue.
Yeah, so I understand him having the ring at that time, but when they did the introduction of him being young, they got the school right. Nathan Drake did went to the Saint for Holy Children.
Yeah.
And him and his brother were in it, and his brother did steal a lot and got a lot in trouble with the police, which Nathan Drake also got in trouble with the police, but because he was still a young and underage, and they take it as Sam was being a bad influence on him, and so they don't give him any strikes. But since Sam was old enough, they gave him strikes, and since he was a bad behavior, he got kicked out of the Saint for proper students.
Yeah.
And Sam went on his merry way, but in the movie, he was kicked out because he tried to steal something. But in the game, he actually left.
Oh, so he left like voluntarily.
Yeah, he left voluntarily, not because of the law or anything else. He just left.
Okay.
And in the game, it explains how Sam always comes back to Nathan. Always.
Okay.
Always. And the last time when he actually went to go steal something with him for the final time was with them both going together.
Okay.
So in the movie, he left Drake in the St. Peter's home, like in the game, but Sam left without him, leaving him alone to live his own life.
Yeah.
For over like 13 years.
Yeah, I think I have kind of a theory why they would change that. So in the movie, like you just explained, they get caught trying to steal a map, and because it's Sam Drake's third strike, they were gonna take him to prison, and they were gonna kick him out of the of like that school that they were staying at. But Sam ends up like leaving, running from the law, and leaving Nathan behind. And the reason why I think they did that is because they wanted to give they wanted to give Nathan Drake a story arc in this movie. So his story arc is sort of just like him missing his brother and trying to live up to like his brother's like expectations, and trying to make like honor the legacy of his brother. And also that kind of creates drama for Nathan Drake, and that creates like a drama for his character, like because he misses his brother. And it also seems like they did that just to also give him like motivation, like that's the reason why he goes on the adventure. Like I think that's the reason why for like the movie they changed it so that in this movie version of Nathan Drake, his character would have motivation throughout the movie.
So I want to explain, if you guys, anyone on our fans out there have played the game and watched the movie, you will notice a big what the fuck moment.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Because again, I haven't played the games. What is this?
So before Sam and Drake leave Nathan Drake in the Saint hospital, I mean not the hospital, the Saint for school.
Yeah.
For prosperous children.
Yeah.
Sam had the necklace of the great adventurer Nathaniel Drake.
Yes.
Francis Drake, I mean. But in the game, It was actually stolen by 5-year-old Nathan Drake or 7-year-old Nathan Drake in Mexico, Panorama.
Okay.
And he stole it in a museum. But in the movie, they already had it.
They already have it.
And that's not how they got the ring.
Interesting. Okay. Again, like I also have another theory on why they already have the ring. Like again, just sort of going back.
Yeah, just to speed it up. Yeah, I know.
To speed it up, but also that ring kind of acts as like a MacGuffin. So a MacGuffin is a movie term of like it's just a name given to like an object or a prop in the movie or the story that gives the character's purpose. Like either like everybody's after it, like R2-D2 in the first Star Wars movie, because R2-D2 had the plans of the Death Star in his computer. So this ring is kind of like a special, like a special item that tells us about Nathan Drake's character. But that's really interesting. I didn't know that the ring meant something different in the games rather than the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's more of a character. It's more of a character building type story plot device.
Basically, which is alright because in movies you had to shorten content of the franchise into small little parts.
Yeah.
So just so it doesn't like spread long and long. So I understand that.
Yeah, because this was a 2-hour movie. This wasn't like a 10-episode miniseries or something.
Yeah, no.
So they had to like streamline the story like a lot.
Yes. In this movie, I'm just gonna point it out. In this movie, they use multiple scenes from Game 3, Game 2, and Game 1 somewhat.
Yeah, like I mentioned to you earlier, like this is kind of like the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yes.
So Scott Pilgrim versus the World is a comic book movie based on a whole series of graphic novels, and they basically condense like the whole story into one movie. And in this one, the way that you're describing it is that they're taking like probably like the most famous scenes or the most famous cut scenes from the first 3 games, it seems like.
Yes, so for the whole plane scene, for the whole theater, like in the trailer of the plane scene, that plane scene was taken from Nathan Drake number 3.
Right.
I'm just going to shorten it for like Uncharted 3. I'm going to shorten each one and each clip. I'm not going to say the whole name because it takes too much time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Uncharted 3, Uncharted 2, or Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
So Uncharted, so the whole plane scene of Nathan Drake, Tom Holland falling off from the care packages and all that, that scene was iconic on Uncharted 3, where the plane was flying over I forgot what desert. And he was fighting the same way he goes fights, but he never asked, you killed my brother, did you? Sam Drake. No, he was trying to sneakily be a stowaway, go to the dig site so he can get to to that treasure first.
Like again, it's like I get why they did like a scene like that, because like in movies, oftentimes the directors and the writers, they want you to care about the character, so they have to give them motivation. So essentially, Nathan Drake's motivation in this movie is to just just find out more about his lost brother. And so that scene was like important because he finally meets his brother's murderer and he confronts her.
Yep. So off from that, I'm gonna talk about the beginning, how Nathan Drake and Sullivan first met in game. The first time Nathan and Sullivan actually met each other was when Nathan was 7 years old and when he was trying to steal the ring of his bassoon father, Francis Drake. And Sullivan was doing a deal with this old lady who wanted the ring and also a device that the ring can activate.
Right.
Which I'm not going to go into it, so you guys can play the game yourselves if you want to. But I'm just saying for context of it. And when Nathan finally did get the ring, Sullivan noticed how tricky he was. He saw his potential and took him in.
Well, there kind of is like a scene in the movie that's kind of like that.
Yeah, we will talk about it later.
Yeah.
So that's how they first met.
Yeah.
And when they finally calmed down and talk each other, and Solomon asked, "What's with the ring? What's so special?" And he says, "This ring, it's mine, is from Francis Drake. And he's like, I thought Francis Drake didn't have no children. Not in history, but there was a woman he did had a woman.
So like illegitimate children.
Yeah, so it wasn't on record, but Nathan say he had children. But the fun thing is, in game, they were called something else. They had different last names.
Interesting. Well, I could see why like a movie studio would not want to like do like that whole story, because that's just gonna take too much time.
Yeah.
In the movie, they introduced Nathan Drake as
A proper guy wearing a tux, drinking coffee.
and they also his day job is being a bartender.
Yep.
Now I was surprised because you mentioned during the movie that he wasn't a bartender in the games.
Yep.
And and so I thought that the reason why they made him a bartender was because like, oh, like the studio Sony, they wanted to make Tom Holland look like fun and sexy, and because like in that scene he's kind of flirting with a girl, and so originally I thought, oh, that's probably going to be his love interest throughout the movie.
No.
But he actually just steals her bracelet because they do reveal that he's like a pickpocket, essentially.
Yeah, in the game, on the third game, Uncharted 3, they did a little backstory on Nathan Drake, how he was a kid and he steals off the market just to survive. And he stole multiple things to sell, to buy more stuff and to live. Because he lived off the street until Sullivan took him in.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's interesting too, because also one thing that I noticed in the movie, one other theory that I have why they made him a bartender is because there's a shot like in the beginning of that scene where we see liquor bottles behind Tom Holland, and the only bottle where you can clearly read the label was Absolute Vodka, which is a real life vodka. So I'm also thinking that the reason why they did that scene, they made him a bartender, is because they probably got the Absolute Vodka probably paid them to have their vodka in the movie. So that's product placement right there.
Well,
because really,
that too, yeah.
Because Absolute Vodka was the only label that I could read. I thought I saw like a Hennessy logo like on the bottles, but you can barely read them. But Absolute Vodka, it's clear as day. So yeah. What other major differences from the movies versus the games did you notice? Because now I'm curious on how like everything, how the story changed from game to movie.
Well, the book. Remember the book in the movie with little spoiler?
Yeah, the one that they're using to find all the clues?
Yeah. Apparently, Sullivan had the book the whole time, but he revealed that he used to work with his brother. Sam.
Yeah, Sam Drake. Yeah.
Yeah, he found the journal first. But in game, Sam was already presumed dead.
Okay.
And Nathan is the one who found the journal.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So they switch it up a bit because since Sam was the one who left Nathan Drake behind the Saint of Prospered Children, he was the one who did all that traveling, all that stuff.
The treasure hunting and stuff.
And all that, So that's a little difference that the book was found by Sam, but in game it was actually found by Nathan Drake.
Because again, the reason why they probably did that is because they needed to like streamline the story like a lot. Because if they follow the game like completely scene by scene, the movie would have been like, I don't know, 10 hours long.
Yes, it
would.
Or
like if they wanted to like recreate like every famous or every scene correctly, they would probably have to do maybe like 10 or 13 episodes of a season, like a TV season.
And that's not even the worst of it. If they went through game by game, they had to involve the monsters they fought in each game.
There's monsters?
Yes, there's monsters. Every treasure the treasure is always cursed. Surrounded by ancient civilizations of creatures. Or they found a dead city because of war.
Wow. Okay.
Because of gold.
Okay. So I do have to mention this because this movie, are you familiar with the Indiana Jones movies?
Yes, I am.
So this movie, to me, watching it, this felt like a modern day Indiana Jones because
they did say references like, what are you?
Yeah, exactly. They referenced Indiana Jones. They referenced Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yep.
There in one of the scenes, there's a fight scene in kind of like this museum art gallery, and Tom Holland, he jumps onto these kind of like these electric
It was
chandeliers.
an auction house.
Yeah,
House.
an auction house. Yes, the auction house. He jumps onto like these electric chandeliers on the top, like this light fixture, and that was a reference to Jackie Chan's police story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he jumped into the chandeliers to stop his fall. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So the Uncharted movie, they reference like a lot of different like action movies and adventure movies. This Uncharted movie, if you like those old Indiana Jones movies, this is pretty much like a modern day version of that, because there's a lot of like treasure hunting, a lot of like hand to hand fights. But I didn't know that there was like a supernatural element to the games.
Yeah. So
Because
Uncharted.
because there's no ghosts or monsters.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Indiana Jones does have supernatural like stuff happen.
Yeah.
But this movie plays it a bit more realistic in
Yes.
terms of like the action.
So yes, let me explain a little bit. In this movie, I took notice that they wanted to be a little bit different.
Uh-huh.
So the whole boats, like I'm a little spoiler, and when they finally found the treasure
Yes.
of the two boats, those boats were actually in the first game, but on islands.
Okay.
But they found it in a cave.
Which was cool though.
Yeah,
It looked
cool.
nice.
Yeah, it was amazing. When I first saw the boats, I just like memory just hit me hard. I was like, oh my god, this is reminding me of so many scenes in Uncharted. Oh my god, so beautiful. The one that
Yeah.
that really hit me hard was Uncharted 4 when we finally in the game when we finally found the main goal of why the civilization fall. And it was like the same thing, because
Yeah.
when we finally found it going underwater and coming out in game, that's why I said in the movie a little bit reference of Uncharted 4.
Yes.
And when he went up, got out of the water, got on rock, and look at the boats, that was the exact same thing that Nathan Drake did when he found the boat
Really?
of Uncharted 4, when he finally found it in a cavern, going underwater, going up on a rock, looking at
Wow.
it, and he went down underwater again, swimming towards it.
Well, it's interesting that they changed like a lot of things, because it kind of reminds me of, like, speaking of Tom Holland, we mostly know Tom Holland as the MCU Spider-Man.
Yes.
And so a lot of those MCU movies, they change a lot from the original comics to help the movies fit more into a movie format.
Yeah.
So sometimes like these movies, they take iconic scenes from the comic books or iconic scenes from like the cartoons and stuff like that, and then they just kind of make their own thing. And I don't get my panties in the twist because they change things here or there, and oftentimes I do enjoy it when they make the movies. So but again, I'm not a fan. I'm not like a fan of the video games just because I've never played them. How did you feel like the movie did a good job in changing things up and making it, and telling like a coherent story?
Yes. It
in
was good.
Yeah.
But when he introduced the Chloe girl,
Yeah.
so a little spoilers in the game. Chloe was never introduced in Uncharted 1 or 2, but she was introduced in Uncharted 3 and 4.
Okay.
So having her there was a little, oh, okay, they're switching it up. Because in Uncharted 1 and 2, 3, and also 4, they had a main character that always comes with Nathan.
Yeah.
And that is Emma and Limina. I forgot. What was her name again?
The journalist?
Yes, the journalist. Elma Fisher.
Oh.
Ella Fisher was the main character that always went with Sullivan and Drake
Okay.
in their adventures. If it's with them in the beginning, or with them in halfway,
Yeah.
or with them part of the way.
Yeah, no. What's the name of the character from the movie? The
Chloe.
girl? Chloe. Yeah. So Chloe gets introduced in this movie. Now, the way that they introduce her as someone who used to work with Sully
Sullivan.
and Sullivan. So he works with someone. Oh, Sullivan.
Yeah.
Because like, okay, so there's this guy who crashed his plane in the Hudson River, and his name is also Sullivan, but everyone calls him Sully.
Yeah.
So it's Sullivan. So they introduce her as someone who used to work with Sullivan, and in the movie she becomes sort of like Nathan Drake's love interest. and
Yeah, I
they
remember.
have kind of like a will they won't they situation where like we don't know if her and Nathan Drake are gonna end up together.
Actually, funny thing, in game they hint that Chloe and Nathan Drake did had a little love affair
Mm-hmm.
in game, but they didn't go together because of certain situations.
Yeah, and so I thought the reason why they included Chloe, because this is kind of like a thing that like movie studios like to do, and it's kind of cliche. Like one of my problems with the movie is that I feel like there's certain things that are so cliche that we see in like so many other movies. So for example, when they introduced Chloe, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be the love interest.
Wrong.
This is the girl who Nathan Drake is going to fall in love with, and he's probably going to
Wrong again.
ride off to the sunset at the end with her." Um
Wrong once more.
so she does kind of act that way. She like her character is meant to be like his love interest, but they do kind of twist it a bit. I'm not going to reveal exactly what happens because we do want you guys to see the movie if you're interested
Yes.
in seeing it.
So, before you continue,
Yeah.
a little bit known fact in the
Yeah.
game, Nathan Drake and Chloe did have a relationship in their
Uh-huh.
years of working together.
Yeah.
But when they meet up again in Uncharted 3 and 4,
Yeah.
they meet it as rivals in looking for a treasure, or they come in as two separate individuals who are in their own relationships. So in game, Chloe went start dating another guy in Uncharted 4, but on
Yeah.
Uncharted 3, she still had like that love for Drake, but until
yeah.
she saw that Drake already has someone else that he has fallen for, which is
Kinda-
a little Fisher.
Yeah, kind of like a love triangle type
Yeah, so
situation.
I'm happy that they include her because Drake first
Yeah.
met Chloe first.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
had that affair, had that love going, and everything like that. So
Yeah.
I was happy that they actually involved Chloe first before in the Fisher,
Yeah.
because it makes sense because they have history before
Yeah.
he met Elena Fisher.
Do you think, well, if so, depending on how well this movie does in theaters and how much money it makes in theaters,
We may get
do you-
Uncharted too.
we might get an Uncharted 2. Do you think they're gonna do you think they're gonna introduce the journalist as
Yes.
as a potential character
Yes,
for the next one?
since they have already showed Chloe, which Chloe in the movie is like in the game.
Yes.
She did it perfectly. Chloe is a little mischievous double crosser,
Yeah.
but she cares for Nathan. And it showed multiple times she wanted to kill him or do something to him, but she didn't. She let him go multiple times in
Yeah.
the movie. If you guys notice how many times she could have just killed him or let him for dead, she helped him
Yeah.
multiple times. And it's like her character in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so I definitely liked a lot of like the performances in this movie. I was a little bit worried about like Tom Holland as Nathan Drake because even though I've never played the games, I've seen like pictures and like videos of gameplay and stuff. So Nathan Drake always seemed to be as like a somewhat more mature looking and mature sounding character. And with Tom Holland usually gets typecasted as like very like young adult or young teenage looking type characters. And Tom Holland has a very kind of like high voice because he's always like, "Oh, sorry, sir, sorry," kind of like that. Like he always gives like that kind of performance. In the beginning of the film, he's having like a fight with somebody and he knocks them out and he's like, "Sorry, that was just a reaction." And it was like, "Oh no, please don't do your Peter Parker for this one."
Oh no.
Please
actually,
don't do your
in
Peter
game,
Parker.
he actually Drake does apologize to his enemies sometimes. So they actually him saying sorry, that was an right impulse. He
Yeah.
does say sorry in what I forgot what game he said it. I bet one of the fans out there
Yeah.
that can actually remember it. He actually does apologize to one of the guys he was beating up.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, sorry.
Yeah, because like, well, I was just a little bit worried because I didn't know exactly like how exactly the character of Nathan Drake was supposed to be. Like, I had like an idea. I thought he was gonna be more kind of like a kind of like rough, like a rough like man of action, kind of like an Indiana Jones type character. Like I didn't know that Nathan Drake was supposed to be more of a like kind of like a goofball because in the movie he's not too serious. He kind of acts like a dumbass sometimes. And so I was kind of surprised that his character was supposed to be more goofy and lighthearted. Because also one thing that I noticed about like just like the performance of his character, Tom Holland, the way that he performed him, he kind of made he acted like a little bit more tougher and a little bit more streetwise than the way that he acts as Peter Parker. So that I appreciated that he wasn't just doing Peter Parker all over again, and that we got to see another type of performance out of him. But that being said, do you think that Tom Holland did a good job portraying Nathan Drake? Did he feel like Nathan Drake to you?
Yes, he felt like Nathan Drake. And the first part of the beginning, he was acting like a little bit different Nathan Drake. But once he finally got into the scenes and acting like Nathan Drake,
Yeah.
he got it, like solving everything.
Yeah.
Because in game, no one else couldn't solve the whole complete picture, except for Nathan Drake. Because there's Chloe, who is also a researcher and knows a lot of shit, maps, everything, all that. But she cannot solve some puzzles. She could have, in game, she was able to solve half of the puzzle.
Yeah.
But Nathan, after complying with what she found out and him looking through the information she went through, in matter of hours, he figured it out completely. Completely in hours. In the movie, they show how he solved everything in matter of hours.
Yeah, because that's kind of like the fun about like these kind of like treasure hunting movies is like it's like you need to have like a character, like your main character has to be somebody who's like very clever, very smart, who's very imaginative, and they're able to solve like these tricky puzzles because that's what makes the Indiana Jones movies so fun, and that's what made this movie fun for me, was just seeing them like go through like all the puzzles and all the traps and stuff. There's like this very interesting scene in the middle of the movie where they're going like where like Nathan Drake and Chloe are going underground solving puzzles while Sullivan is on the street level solving all the puzzles and all the locks there, and they're being chased by the bad guys. And I really liked that sequence because it's just very fun for me to like see like these kind of like treasure hunting puzzle solving scenes, because they're always fun for me because I love the Indiana Jones movies, and I'm glad that they had like several scenes where like Nathan Drake is like trying to figure shit out, and like he's like and like he finds like the like he finds the secret to the puzzle that nobody else could see.
So
that's really good.
In game, Sullivan usually is the one getting kidnapped. Yeah,
Really?
so in game, and the first Uncharted, he gets kidnapped, tried to find the thing, find the treasure. In the second one, he was also, I think I remember correctly, a background character who just helped, but also got kidnapped.
Yeah.
And the third one, that's where he was like off, not really helping, but he was there, but he was like helping around like with the whole tentacle stuff.
Oh, right.
And then the fourth one was when he was a little bit much older. He can't do much anymore. He was just there as a moral support.
Really? Okay.
Yes. But I had one thing, since I'm talking about Sullivan, in the movie, Sullivan was never that young.
Yeah.
Never
yeah.
that young.
Yeah, because you showed me some clips of him in game, and Sullivan, he has like gray hair and he speaks with like a more rougher voice.
Yeah, and he always has his iconic
cigar,
cigar
and
mustache
and shirt,
revolver gun, and his shirt.
His mustache.
No, his shirt. His iconic shirts. He always wears the iconic button-up shirts.
Yeah.
Always. He's never wearing a tuxedo unless it's in a job.
Yeah, because in this movie he's played by Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
And if you know who Mark Wahlberg is, he was in like the movie Ted, The Departed, Boogie Nights. So you know how Mark Wahlberg looks. So basically through the movie he just looks like Mark Wahlberg, because throughout most of the movie he's either like in a suit or just regular street clothes.
Exactly. But in game, Sullivan has his iconic button-up dress shirt.
Yeah.
With tacky pants. Good shoes,
Yeah.
with a cigar, buffy mustache, and with his revolver. He never goes out without his revolver.
Interesting, because because something that I'm kind of thinking of, like, I have a theory why, like, they didn't want to make Sullivan look like the way that in his game, like the way that he looks in the game, because in the game he's almost like, it almost seems like he's like a comedic type character.
Yes,
Like,
he is.
like he's his just his look is meant to, like, be like like he's more comedic than Mark Wahlberg. But because Mark Wahlberg, he's a big fucking movie star, he probably didn't want to look like uncool. So they put him in a lot of, like, in a lot of like sport coats and like button up shirts, and he has like, and they make it seem like he had a relationship with one of the main bad guys, so they make him look like sexy and cool instead of, like, old and kind of
Rough it in.
and yeah, and kind of rough, like rough and worn out, like the character.
Yeah. So in game, before they even met, Tom Holland. Ooh. Oh shit. Sorry. I actually hit my mic. A little bit. Sorry. Hold up. You can hear me properly with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good. You're good.
Okay. Oh. Woo. Sorry, guys. I almost knocked off the cable for this mic. All right. So in game, when Nathan Drake and Sullivan first met, Sullivan does look like what oh fuck!
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg with the black hair, and a little bit of no mustache.
Yeah.
But in game, after many years, he does have that bushy mustache.
Mm-hmm.
He got that iconic hair look, and he continues wearing those shirts the entire time.
Okay.
So I was happy because in the end credit scenes,
Yeah.
he finally got him to his iconic look. The bushy mustache,
Yeah.
the cigarette he always sniffs and smoke, and his revolver.
Yeah.
The second I saw that, my heart was,
Yeah. Yeah, because
Sullivan is here.
Yeah, because like
Yes.
me, yeah, because like me, as someone who's not really who's never played the games, like, I didn't get like a lot of the references, but they did the same thing in like the Sonic movie, because both with Nathan Drake and Sullivan, they finally by the end of the movie they're in their iconic costumes.
Yes.
Like in the Sonic movie, Sonic doesn't get his red shoes until the third act of the movie. Essentially. So that's just like, I guess that's just something that's just gonna happen in these video game movies, where we're not gonna see them in their iconic in their iconic costumes until like the near end of the movie.
Yep.
So let me ask you this. I did enjoy the movie. I did have fun with the movie, but one of the things that I didn't quite enjoy about the movie was like the villains.
The villains?
Yeah, so essentially this movie has like two villains. It has this one villain played by Antonio Banderas. He's like a Spanish millionaire who is looking for the gold as well, and he has like this henchwoman who is like the leader. She's kind of like a mercenary, and she has a history with Sullivan, like they used to date or something, and like they're rivals. So for the two main villains, I didn't feel like they were like very like intimidating or like scary villains. Like whenever they showed up, I was just like, all right, I hope Sullivan and Nathan beat the shit out of these guys, because I felt like they were a bit more, like the characters were a bit more annoying than actually intimidating, because you, like, going back to like Indiana Jones always had like very like intimidating villains that he would, or like rivals that he would go up against in search of the treasure. Like I didn't really like these, or maybe it was the actors, or maybe it was the script, but I didn't really like these villains. Like are these villains from the games, or are these like brand new ones, or
these
like
are brand new ones, but the characters they were acting upon were actual villains in Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
Because in Uncharted 3, no, not Uncharted 3, number 4
Mm-hmm.
was because the rich guy wanted to get the treasure.
Okay.
And I thought he was referencing another character from a different in Uncharted 2 or 3, but apparently they just had him just to be the main villain. But the woman she was acting like the character in Uncharted 4. I forgot what was her name. She was a big uh, general soldier girl
Yeah.
who commands a big giant army, which
Yeah.
she did in the movie. She commands a lot of people.
Yeah, she was basically like the leader of like this rich guy's henchmen.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially.
So I thought she was being the character of Uncharted 4,
Yeah.
the main villain who controls the henchmen.
I just feel like in the movie, like the way that they're set up, because we meet both these characters in the auction house.
Yes.
And
Ironically, in the auction house was a scene from scene 4 where they had to buy something so they can continue on the treasure hunt.
yeah, so we meet them both in the auction house, and like so Antonio Banderas, his character has a has an interaction with Nathan Drake, and it's actually somewhat intimidating when they meet, because essentially he threatens Nathan Drake, and he poses as a threat to both Nathan and Sullivan. But later on in the movie, they don't really give him like another scene to be like intimidating or stuff like that. The character almost seems like he's underwritten and a little bit boring, because we don't really get to see that character be like very evil, because he has like conflict with like his dad, because his dad wants to take the company in a different direction, and he's mad about that, but he doesn't do anything evil. Like he doesn't like kill his dad, or like shoot people, or like threaten people. Like he only has like that one scene with Nathan Drake, and I'm like, oh, what is this guy gonna do? What kind of threat is he? But by the end of the movie, he didn't seem like that big of a threat, and the girl as well, because the movie insists that this female villain is like a total badass and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, in
And
the
like,
game
yeah,
there is a badass villain as well. So
yeah.
if they were referencing her in Uncharted 4, then they did a really good job with her.
But I mean, like the way that this actress portrayed this villain is like they portrayed her as someone who's opportunistic, because it's a treasure hunting story. You always have like selfish, opportunistic people. But at the end she was just like very boring, where like it's just like, oh, she's gonna steal the treasure away from Sullivan and Nathan, and oh, we just gotta get rid of her, and she's just good at fighting. Like there's like a difference between like like some like I think about like classic villains, like say like a Darth Vader or something like that, like a classic movie villain. Like like they're evil, they do evil things, they have iconic lines. And with these two villains, they just seem like very boring to me. Like just sort of thinking like a movie we saw recently with like Green Goblin in Spider-Man No Way Home. Like that actor Willem Dafoe, they give him a lot to do in that movie, and he's very intimidating, and he has fun with the role and stuff like that, and he gets like iconic lines like, "Oh, I'm something of a scientist myself."
Yeah.
And yeah, so like the villains, I didn't really like the villains. Like I enjoyed like Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, and I enjoyed like his interactions with Sullivan, because I didn't know that they like they say like all these jokes and oh shit. Like I don't know, like I didn't realize that they had like all this like funny banter, because like early in the movie, they're planning to break into the auction house, and and Sullivan is like, "Oh, I'm gonna need you to cut off the power," and Nathan is like, "Oh, how do I do that?" "Hey, you got to figure that out. You got to bring something to the table."
Well, ironically, in Uncharted 4, they went into an auction house and their original plan was to cut off the power so one of them can just craftily take the thing they need to continue on and move on.
Yeah.
And it was funny that how it was funny, because Nathan Drake in the game, when they were in the auction house, was in charge of taking out the power.
Yeah.
Too. So when Nathan was the one in the movie, when he was the one in charge of taking out the power, he didn't do it.
Yeah.
He just got beat up.
Yeah.
And did a different distraction.
Oh man, one of the guys that was beating him up, he was like a Scottish guy. And
I'll show you the real Scottish welcome.
Yeah, and he speaks with like a thick Scottish accent, and it almost seems like it's a fake accent. It almost seems like it's Mike Myers doing his fat bastard voice. Like I was so ready for him to tell Nathan Drake, Tom Holland, "Get in my belly, donkey." You make my Shrek's box.
Oh my God,
my Shrek's box smell like dick.
Oh my fucking, good reference, good reference. I don't think a lot of people have seen that video, but that's a good reference.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I liked Sully and Nathan. I just didn't like the villains too much. There is the with the character of Chloe, she does like some pretty sinister stuff in the movie,
Yeah, in
and
the
I
game,
yeah
she does act sinister as well. So
yeah
she did her well.
yeah because I felt like Chloe played a better villain than the other female villain in the movie. So that's something that I felt could have been a lot
Chloe is
better.
never the main villain. She's always part of the main villain,
She's
but
kind
in
of
the
yeah
end, she always helps her friend and just betrays the villain in the end in games.
yeah she's
And
like
like in the movie, that did happen, but a little bit different.
yeah, because there's this so like a lot of characters in movies they fall into archetypes. Like obviously, Nathan Drake is our protagonist slash hero, and so Chloe is kind of like his shadow. She's also kind of a trickster character. Like she's a shapeshifter in a way where like we don't exactly know what kind of side she's on. We know that she is very opportunistic and is ready to fuck over people whenever given the chance.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought she did more sinister type things, like sinister type actions, rather than the two actual villains from the movie. Also, one thing that did bother me about the movie is there's a death near the end of the movie where somebody gets their throat slit and they show barely any blood, especially like in the action, like when they actually get their throat slit, because it's not like it's off camera, because it would be one thing if they slit his throat off camera and we just heard the sound effect
Yep.
and then we saw them laying in a pool of blood. They show it like on camera, and it almost seems like she's rubbing her knife around his neck instead of actually
Because
cutting it, and we don't see like
a lot
and
of
we don't
blood,
and we
because
don't
transitionally when you get your neck sliced, a lot of
Mhm.
blood comes out and you start coughing and choking on it and
Yeah,
then die.
it's very
This guy
it's a
didn't
very
even
gruesome. Yeah,
yeah, but in the movie, this guy gets his neck cut off. He just
and he
and then he
falls
just
over.
falls over, no blood coming out.
Yeah, and it's
It
like
was so dumb. I just like, okay, sure,
Yeah.
sure, why
but,
not?
Well, the reason why they did that is because this movie was
It's
PG-13.
PG-13, yeah,
but
I know.
if you want to make a PG-13 death scene, they could have they could have had like a shot of like the villain, of like the person coming from behind them, and then we see them like they're about to pull the knife, and then it cuts away to like a shadow or like off screen or something, or to the floor, and then we see like blood splattering like on the floor, and then that way you get like a satisfying death, and you can keep the PG-13. But that's like really bullshit.
Yeah.
Because there was this other movie from last year, Dune. It's a good movie. It's a movie based on this famous sci-fi novel, but there's like a fight scene near the end of the movie where two characters are dueling to the death, and they're fighting with knives, and one character stabs another character and slices their stomach open, and we see no blood. And the way that the choreography was shot, it made it seem kind of fake. So this is like a problem that a lot of PG-13 action movies are having nowadays, where like they can't do like deaths, like actual on-screen deaths, look convincing anymore, which really pisses me off. And even though I like the movie, don't come at me saying that I hated the movie. I had a lot of fun with it, but there were just things here or there that did kind of piss me off, and things here or there that were kind of bullshit. Anyways, what else did you think of the movie? What stood out to you as not a comic book movie, as a video game movie? Because this is probably like one of my favorites so far that has come out in terms of like new comic book movies. I definitely like this better than like something like Mortal Kombat or the Sonic or Pikachu movie.
So in this movie, the whole movie, Drake has his iconic look, having a gun holster on him and wearing a wide plaid shirt,
Yeah.
and tacky pants and shoes, and he has a belt buckle. In game, he always has a different belt buckle for different adventures.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that magic, like you get an eagle belt buckle, you can put it on your belt, and it's very big, and and everyone can see it.
Yeah.
Nathan Drake always have a different belt buckle for every adventure in every game.
Did he have a belt buckle for this movie?
No, he
didn't
does
notice.
not.
Ah,
No
shit.
belt buckle. That was one thing that it was off with Nathan Drake. in the movie. But finally, when they were trying to get the treasure off the hands of the villain.
Yeah.
He finally became his iconic look after getting the gun holster.
Yeah, the
on him.
Yeah, cause I kind of forgot that's like his iconic look because it's almost like making a Mario movie without Mario wearing like his cap or something.
Yes. So the whole movie, and he didn't. Tom Holland did not look like Nathan Drake. He
Yeah.
had the smarts and the necklace and everything. All of that was good, but he still was missing his iconic holster, his gun holster.
Yeah.
They were still missing his iconic holster.
No, but
Because in every Uncharted game, he had a different holster for a different situation. The first one was a regular holster. The second one was a bullet holster, for like holes for bullets. He could put on his holster in like on his satchel, like on the straps.
Yeah.
With a gun pocket on the sides, and the third one was his normal holster with just extra pockets for ammo.
Mm-hmm.
So every adventure, Nathan Drake always has a holster on him. So when he finally got the holster and put it on and posed like Nathan Drake in the games, I was like, yes, his iconic look. Finally.
Yeah.
And then when he turns around and shoot, Nathan Drake did do that as well in the game. He turns around and shoot. Just like that.
There's also like in that same scene, there's also like a scene. There's also a shot of him grabbing gunpowder. Now, does Nathan Drake like does he always like carry around gunpowder?
Oh no, from
the
gunpowder he picked it up on the floor.
Oh yeah, but
from the scene.
But I'm asking, like, in the games, is he always like carrying like some kind of like special thing, like is he always carrying gunpowder just in case like if he needs it, or like in the games does he have like special items like dynamite or something that he can use to like defeat the villains? Because that almost seemed like very video game like, where like he's like looking around the room and he finds something like say like you're playing like Zelda Breath of the Wild, and you find like some supplies and you pick it up and then you can use it later to like fight the villains or something like that.
Okay, so in game, Nathan Drake is always resourceful.
Yeah.
And because in the game, he always runs out of ammo every single time. So in game, he is resourceful by using every gun, every item, everything he can use to defeat his enemy, he uses it.
Yeah.
So in the game, when in that scene you're talking about the gunpowder, he was resourceful like Nathan Drake in the game. He took that saying, "Oh, I can use this later," and goes up and he sees the cannon, the ball when the scene where a giant metal ball came towards him, and goes, "Oh!" He grabs the ball, looks at the enemy that was coming at them to attack, and it was like, "All right, boom, gunpowder that I just found minutes ago. Put it in, light it." Boom.
Yeah, because that was a really cool scene, the way that he uses the gunpowder in the movie.
In the game, he's always resourceful. Uses every element around his area to win the battle.
Yeah, because I'm not going to spoil what he does with the gunpowder, but the way that he uses it in the movie is like, it's one of my favorite scenes, is because he basically like saves the day with his resourcefulness. It's very Indiana Jones. Because in the Indiana Jones movies, Indiana Jones can't always rely on because he has a gun and a whip. He can't always rely like on his weapons to like save the day. So he has to use like his smarts and his quick thinking to get out of situations. And like again, I'm a big fan of Indiana Jones, so I like these little touches that they do in this movie. Something else that did surprise me. So this is a Sony movie, and Sony movies are usually very notorious for fucking up like source material, or fucking up the movies with like just a bunch of stupid bullshit. Like for example, product placement. Like again, I mentioned like the vodka earlier in the movie. There also is another big product placement in this movie.
Papa John's.
Yeah, Papa John's. There's a fight scene in a Papa John's. And I'm surprised that Sony was able to hold themselves back and only do those two things, because in other Sony movies they're always mentioning something that they own, or something that they have like a tie-in with. Because for example, so Sony, before Sony Studios was Sony Studios, it was Columbia Pictures. And Columbia Pictures, before it was bought by Sony, was actually owned by Coca-Cola. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not know that. That's the information to me.
So, so for example, in 1984, they released both Ghostbusters and The Karate Kid, the original one.
Oh, nice.
And so, in both of those movies, now watching them as adults, I'm noticing that in both of those movies, they're full of like Coca-Cola like product placement. For example, in The Karate Kid, they mentioned the juice Minute Maid. Minute Maid is owned and made by Coca-Cola. And then in Ghostbusters, every time they open up a refrigerator, there's always a shot of Coke in the refrigerator. So for like the longest time, Sony / Columbia Pictures they've always been whores. They've always been product placement whores. So I'm surprised that we only got 2 major ones in this movie, and that for the most part they didn't fill the movie with stupid shit that made me cringe. Like for example, like the Amazing Spider-Man. Like I'm surprised that the music in the movie, the score, they didn't add dubstep or some stupid shit like that.
No, all of those the music that was used was actually
From the game.
Yeah, from the game, but a little bit altered just for like the moment of it. But all the songs that would happen are actually in-game music.
That's
alter
good.
It a little bit.
That's good, as long as they're not doing cringy, stupid shit like that.
No, it was good. When I heard the song, I was like, beautiful. The music. Because the music is really good on the situation in the game.
Yeah.
Because Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4 had their own iconic music.
Yeah.
Going along with the game.
Right.
And every time Nathan Drake is like trying to solve a puzzle or is in a cutscene, you hear the music in the background.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else? What were some of your favorite scenes throughout the movie?
You gotta ask.
Well,
Sullivan in
so you like when they appeared as their iconic looks.
Yes.
Oh, okay. But aside from that, like, was there, because like I have, like, again, me not being a fan, I have like other things that I enjoyed. What did you think, like, the action scenes? What did you like, the action scenes, or did you like, the funny moments, the comedy bits? What was the scene that you liked
the
from
ones
the movie?
that I liked were the scenes that they took from actual gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
The airplane scene,
Yeah,
the
that's a
boat
good one.
scene.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because in game, Nathan Drake had to drive a boat to solve a puzzle.
Yeah.
And he did, and he drove his boat towards the puzzle he finally solved.
Mm-hmm.
And the hours that in the movie where he tried to solve the puzzle of where the actual treasure is, he solved it.
Okay.
Like hidden messages in the books that Nathan Drake always brings with him has secret messages that you had to use fire or something else to get the secret message to reveal itself. And he figures it out because, like I said before, anyone else can solve only half or part of the problem.
Yeah.
But when Nathan Drake gets it and looks at it himself, and he solves
makes the difference.
Yeah, he makes the difference because all of them says that, it took me a couple of days to finally decipher this, or it took me a few weeks to finally get to this far.
Right.
Nathan Drake looks at it, solves it in mere hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes just in a day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's good. For me, again, because I'm not so familiar with the games, I basically just like I just try to have fun with the movie, and just so I liked a lot of the action scenes. I especially liked the ending, like the climax. I really like the action of the climax. Because they're just like fighting like all the bad guys, and they're just like using helicopters and trying to keep the treasure away from the bad guys. And there's just like certain parts of it, like again, like it's just a really fun climax. I thought it was very fun and inventive. I liked the chemistry between Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland as Nathan Drake and Sullivan. I thought they were really funny together. They worked really well together, and again, you showed me some clips of the gameplay, and it seems like their relationship is very authentic.
Yeah,
to how the game is.
Yeah, in game, their relationship was a little rocky, but after working together for so many years, they got used to their little quirkiness.
Yeah,
and their little in the window jokes that Sully always gives out.
Yeah,
but in the end of the movie, it looked like when Sullivan finally, or Sully has his finally kind of look.
Yeah.
Nathan and Sully had a little reunion, you saw that
Uh-huh.
he smiled and he's like, "Why took you so long?" And he did his a little kind of look, saying his little whip lines
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
That was actually in game. Nathan Drake, and Sullivan does have that relationship in game after getting to know each other. Nate says something, Sullivan gets a witty remark, and doesn't give the exact answer, but
Yeah.
gives his reasons why, and Nate just like, you all right then, and they continue on like that.
Because I will spoil one thing about Nathan and Sullivan's relationship is I like the fact that in the movie, like a big arc in the movie, the big arc between both of them is that Sullivan has to learn how to trust Nate. Because the movie, like throughout the movie, there's just characters like betraying one another. Like literally every character in this movie gets betrayed in one way or another. Did you notice?
Yeah. Oh,
And-
I already automatically noticed because in game, you see a lot of
yeah.
betrayal. A lot.
Everybody gets betrayed one way or another in this movie. But I like the fact that the two characters who essentially win at the end, Nathan and Sullivan, like their relationship becomes stronger because like they learn to trust each other.
Yes, and also a little hint. Remember that one scene where he had to sacrifice the gold to save Drake?
Yes.
So there is a scene in game, well, in different games, but a different person. Nate did save some gold for Sully in one game, and then in the other game, Sully saved some treasure and saved Nathan at the same time. Or sometimes they both save each other, but also grab a handful of gold because they destroyed the rest of it.
Yeah.
Like in the movie, they destroyed the rest of the gold, but kept a little bit on hand.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? Like in the end of the movie where they save the gold, a little bit of gold.
Yep.
That kind of reminds me of the Disney movie Treasure Planet. Because the ending of this movie kind of reminded me of the ending of Treasure Planet.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of the same, where like it's a boat, a ship full of gold, and at the end of the movie, one of the characters reveals that they actually were able to save some of the gold that they lost. So I was like, oh, it's kind of like Treasure Planet.
No.
But anyways, so what are your final thoughts on the movie?
I loved it.
You loved it?
I loved it so much. As a fan of the entire series, and I do play it sometimes, but I haven't been playing it for over 5 years because I just remember every location of every stuff, all the treasures, all the knickknacks, and all the achievements in that game.
Yeah.
I loved it so much that when I first saw the movie, I had some doubts of how good it was, but after they continued on and on and on and develop Nathan's iconic personality and Sully's personality and Chloe as well.
Yeah.
And the villains as well. I was like, oh yeah, now it's feeling like a Nathan Uncharted game now. It feels like it now.
Yeah.
It was like bit by bit. It was like working bit by bit, getting to those iconic looks.
Right.
And it was so perfect. I loved it so much.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And it was funny that they add the cat, even though that in game they don't have a cat.
So when they showed that cat, I just thought like, oh, I guess this character always has a cat in the games.
No, no, he does not.
Oh shit. I kind of came into this movie with some low expectations because I just didn't know what to expect. Like for me, I was just looking for like, just some fun action, some fun like Indiana Jones type like adventure, which I got, which I'm actually pretty happy that there was a couple of like good action scenes and the puzzle solving and like the interactions with the characters. It was all pretty good. It didn't meet up to my expectations. The things that I don't like about the movie are the more cliche parts of the story, like just the things that they changed, like making him into a bartender and like just like the very like cliche things that movies do nowadays. And also like a lot of like the violence, they tone down the violence in really stupid ways. But again, I like Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. He really is a very charismatic actor. Mark Wahlberg, he had like I was afraid that Mark Wahlberg was gonna ruin the movie because sometimes he doesn't give like the best performance in every movie, but in this one he did all right, and he works well with Tom Holland. Um, and like the effects were pretty good. Like the effects for like the story and the actions were pretty good. I don't really have that much complaints about like the action. Everything looked pretty good. Even like the CGI. CGI, I didn't notice like anything like too distracting about it. So it was pretty well made. Also, one thing that I appreciated about this movie, the sound mixing. The sound mixing wasn't
Yes.
annoying or distracting
No,
like
it
in
was
Venom 2.
Yeah, it was good. It
Like
was good.
like you can actually tell what the characters are saying to each other
Yep.
because Venom 2 was just terrible sound mixing. Like you couldn't tell what was happening.
You couldn't tell what they were saying sometimes.
Yeah, because there was just like so much sound. And in this one, even like when they're doing like all the action scenes or when they're on the airplane or in the air, everything was nicely mixed. So good job, Sony. You finally got sound mixing down right.
Well, it's probably because PlayStation also helped because it was PlayStation
Yeah.
Productions.
Oh yeah, in the beginning of the movie they had like this little logo. Like you know how like Marvel and DC now do like
The logos?
their logos and they show their characters.
Yeah, so
They
PlayStation
they
did
did
a
kind of the
logo.
same. Yeah.
They showed Nathan Drake, the God of War.
Oh yeah,
the
Kratos.
Puppet. Yeah, Puppet.
What are they called? Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
I
Ratchet
saw
and
them.
Clank. And many others that I cannot remember because it was going too fast. I just remember the iconic ones.
I know that you know The Last of Us.
Yes.
So The Last of Us is gonna get
The Last of Us Part 2, Game of the Year with bullshit remarks. They were paid. I fucking hated that. Game of the Year. It was bullshit. Game of the fucking year. Fuck you, Last of Us Part 2. You didn't deserve that. Fuck you, Game of the Year.
Oh shit! I touched the nerve there.
It was bullshit.
Oh.
There were so many other games that were better than The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah.
So much better. It just continue on. Continue
Well,
on.
I was gonna
Stop me rant. I don't want to continue.
Well, I was just gonna mention that The Last of Us, the game.
Of the fucking year.
I'm talking about the first one, you dick. Well, like the first one is gonna get adapted into a mini series by HBO.
Oh really?
And isn't like The Last of Us like isn't that just a PlayStation game? Like it's only on PlayStation?
PlayStation, computer, and Xbox, I believe.
Oh, so it's multi-platform. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right.
If I remember correctly.
All right. But yeah, so I enjoyed the movie. The movie's not perfect. There are some bullshit things that I don't like about it, but hey, I had fun with it. I'm not angry that I spend like $12 for a ticket. I had I got my money's worth, I believe. And if there's a sequel, I'll see the sequel. So again, if you guys want a sequel, like
I'm gonna watch it regardless if you want to watch it because my God, I love Uncharted.
Well, yeah. Like this first movie, I liked it enough that I am willing to see a sequel because again, I want to see like where they take the move, like what direction they take the next movie.
The
And
one
also-
thing
yeah.
I want to hear from, I'm sorry for interrupting. The
Yeah.
one thing I want to see on the second one is they better find the actress that will play a little Fisher. They have to have a little Fisher on the second one. I want to see her there. If they can't and they have to wait until 3, then okay. But if they make Uncharted 2 and they have certain areas where Legend Fisher was involved in,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna be pissed.
I mean, they should because like with this new Sonic movie, they're introducing more characters from the Sonic universe.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Tails, Knuckles.
well, we've just seen Tails and Knuckles, and we see that Doctor Eggman. He looks more like the way that he
Eggman
does.
himself?
Yeah, the way that he looks more in the video games.
But
He's-
but he's skinny. He's
Yeah, he's-
supposed to be fat a little bit.
Well, actually, that's interesting. Do you remember the Three Stooges movie?
Yes.
So you know, like if you guys know the Three Stooges, there's one of the characters is named Curly. So he's fat and bald in the original shorts from the 1930s. So Jim Carrey was originally supposed to play Curly for the Three Stooges movie that came out like 10 years ago, but Jim Carrey did not want to wear a fat suit, nor did he want to gain the weight to play Curly properly. So I think like Jim Carrey just doesn't like to like, get like fat or like change his weight for like roles. Yeah, so I guess that's just the thing that Jim Carrey doesn't like to do.
Well,
Because he is Dr. Eggman in the Sonic movies.
yes, he is. But I'm trying to remember if there was a universe where Eggman was skinny.
Well, because do you know who Dr. Eggman is based off of, like, in terms of looks?
No.
Dr. Eggman is based on the
Dr. Robotnik?
No, he's Dr. Robotnik. Well, Dr. Robotnik and Eggman are the same. But their look is based off of Teddy Roosevelt, the president. You know who Teddy Roosevelt is? The
Yes,
U.S. president?
I'm remembering his face right now.
Yeah, he's known for like his iconic mustache and glasses.
Yes.
So if you look at Dr. Eggman and you look at picture of Teddy Roosevelt,
He will look exactly. I can see it in my head right now.
Yeah. So so yeah. If you remember those Night at the Museum movies,
Yes.
he was played by Robin Williams. So if you don't know how he looks like, look up, like, I guess, Night at the Museum or something, because then you'll see how Teddy Roosevelt looks like. What else? So yeah, I like the movie. I hope it gets a sequel. I'd like to see where they take this universe. This is one of my more favorite I almost called it a comic book movie.
Comic book movie?
A video game movie.
Well, you did call it a comic book multiple times without you
Well, yeah,
noticing.
because I'm just so used to, like, every big movie based on a comic book that at some point Hollywood has to, like, start making other types of movies. So I really do think that video game movies might be, like, the next thing that, like, Hollywood, like, obsesses over, or, like, that's gonna be, like, the next money maker
for making movies out of games.
Yeah, because
I can't wait to see it in a Doom Internal.
Well, yeah,
in a movie.
We'll
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
But they're gonna make it PG-13. They're not gonna make it.
Now they have to make it gore. Doom is known for its gore.
I know they have to, but like, well, the Mortal Kombat, like the one that came out last year, Mortal Kombat, that one was pretty gory.
Yes, it was.
And from what I understand, that one was successful enough that Warner Brothers is gonna make a second Mortal Kombat movie. So we'll see. We'll see how violent a Doom movie would be.
It has to be like they have to actually show blood.
They have to, because you can't make a Doom movie
without
it being super violent.
Yes.
So that is our review of the Uncharted movie. If you like our discussion, please give us a like, give us a comment down below. If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, leave us a review. Tell your friends about us. And we'll see you next time.
Yes. Also, before we cut everything else, there's gonna be a little on the side for me and talking to the fans. If you guys want to have a conversation with me, I am live on Twitch as well.
Yeah, tell us when you're live.
Yes, I am live on the weekends on Sunday and Mondays. I am also trying to get to be streaming on the weekdays as well. So Sunday and Mondays are the days I will be able to stream currently because of work and life and all that. But I am trying to also make the streams more better. I am currently making my streams better. I only have it to be set up for only me able to see you guys in chat. So but in the future it will be more better. So if you guys want to come towards me, watch and support me, come to Twitch at www.twitch.tv Dragon907.4. So hope you guys can come over and check me out because I'll be live on those days. Those are the days I'll be live because I know I'm free on those days and I can live completely.
And I'll leave a link to your stream channel in the comments. Also, I would like to urge you guys to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of our social medias, just to keep updated on new episodes.
We put up daily content in those social medias as well. So if you want to see any edits, a little bit more of us, go check it out. We are there. My co-host is also editing stuff as well. He will also send videos in those social medias, just a little teaser or just little edits he made for fun.
Yeah, I do like a lot of fun stuff on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, I am almost there as well in the comments.
Yeah,
trying to like make him angry sometimes. Like, do you not see the comic I did in your latest Instagram post?
Oh, I gotta look at that one.
Oh, you didn't see it? Uh-oh, I just caught the fire.
Let's do it live.
No, don't look at it. No, let's cut it right here. Cut it. No, where's the button for this thing? Where's the button? Stop pushing me away from the button. Where's the button?
Is it this one that says Tarzan be do moving smooth?
Yes. He'd be moving smooth. Look at him moving smooth. And then there was another one.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, but you didn't see the other ones. So that's good. Wait, I'm gonna delete. Oh, hold up. No, I'm deleting those. Hold up.
Did you put it on my original account?
No, on the podcast. There we go. I deleted it. You can't see it.
All right. Oh well.
Hey, I saved myself from my ass whooping, boys and girls.
So yeah, so he saved his ass this time, but next time I'm gonna beat the ever living shit out of him.
Oh no!
Oh
my
no.
booty cheeks. Wait, I'm a dragon.
No.
How can you hurt my skin?
I don't know. A magic sword?
Shit.
Well, that means I have to go travel to Europe and look for Excalibur or some shit.
Oh no, the dragon slaying sword that killed all my people.
Yeah, I'm a murder you so bad they'll call me Saint George.
Ah shit.
Yeah,
here we go
boy.
again.
I'll murder you so bad they'll call me Beowulf.
Beowulf. Okay.
Do you know that story? Did you ever read that in middle school? Beowulf.
I heard of Beowulf, but I never got into it. But we can talk about it later.
Have you seen the movie? There's a movie about it.
No, I have not. We gotta watch that later then.
Ooh, okay, yeah. It's not a perfect movie, but it's interesting to talk about. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right then. I hope you guys enjoyed. And leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and come and join us for more wacky stuff we're gonna talk about.
Yeah,
because
come and join.
This is fun.
It sure is. It sure is.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope we see you guys next time.
Next time on Anime Match Cut Podcast. It's over 9,000.
What, 9,000? That can't be right.
Yeah, boy.
All right, we're done. End here. Too cringy. Too cringe.